Hello. You're in a tree again today. We're literally back in the exact same spot we were last week, or on Thursday. And yeah, we're going to get into it. Let me just go and appoint myself on my bench. Yeah, man. How we doing today, guys? I'm doing good. Kinda. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, but we're going to talk about that because it's an interesting subject. But first let me start with we drink the poison of our own minds. No, I fucked that up, guys. Fuck. We drink the poison our minds pour for us. No wonder we feel so sick. A fellow called Atticus said that one time. Okay, so what am I on about? What am I getting at? It's hard at the moment for me and pretty much everyone, it seems, just to keep your head on, keep your head screwed on and be at least semi-consistently good, It's tricky. So yeah, we drink the poison our own minds pour for us, no wonder we feel so sick. Basically the idea that all these fucking bad feelings we have, it's our own fault. Not much of it is external. The fault of others, the outside world. And that's true. That's goddamn true. Now, to get straight to it. By the way, you see I'm drinking a beverage. I'm drinking a coffee. Hell yeah. I'll tell you why. So recently I've been practicing, because obviously it's knowledge that I quit caffeine, and I did that for 2 months or so. Wow, what a stint. But basically what I found was, I think I began to believe that I was using caffeine as a scapegoat, because the time when I was drinking a lot of it was also a time I was incredibly stressed and anxious anyway, just because of all sorts of bits and bobs going on. So I figured, just for science, now I'm doing a bit better, let me try it and see what happens. And I've been good, I've been genuinely fine, and it's been helping me with bigger workloads and stuff like that for sure, and I feel good drinking it. I think it's just almost treating the substance with respect, because I'm not going to be abusing caffeine. It's not even the matter of having one a day. It's a matter of just having it when I want it or when I feel like I need it. But I'll never exceed more than one a day, because then no matter how you feel, you're going to start feeling a bit funny after that. For me personally anyway. So just a little disclaimer there. I think it's important to not to learn to not beat yourself up about trivial things, especially like that. For certain things, and if you really feel like you're doing bad stuff, then yeah, you should beat yourself up about it. But for something like a cup of coffee, I shouldn't put myself down for an entire day about that. So that's what we're practicing. We're practicing doing that type of stuff in moderation. So to get into the meat and potatoes of it, I watched a short documentary recently on a guy who he lived nomadically. He's this older guy who's in his 60s, 70s, whatever, probably 60s, and he lived with only 9 kilograms worth of stuff. That's all he had, his only possessions, 9 kilograms worth of stuff. So he lived out of his backpack basically. He had, I believe the only things he owned was clothes. So he had clothes, that's it, a few nice shirts, a few pants, the usual. And that's it, that's all he had. And for living space, obviously he didn't have a house. All he had was shelter from strangers, so he volunteered in exchange for bed and board. So that's how he got his food, and that's how he got somewhere to sleep at night. He'd volunteer in gardens, because he said he wouldn't support commerce. That's the last thing he wanted to do, was support commerce. So all his food was externally sourced from others. Same with his accommodation. and all he did all day was work in gardens, which he loved. So, why am I talking about this guy today? Now, the reason is because I've been consuming meaningful content recently, content which I can actually spit onto this and have it actually mean something, as opposed to just usual brain rot. It's like reading a book in a sense, you know. If it's a video you can learn something from, and it's good stuff. But anyway, so that's what he does. Doesn't have anything really, only a few clothes. Volunteers, works in gardens all day. He's happy doing that. Now he says that every single morning, without fail, he wakes up with pure joy and bliss. Every morning. Now I don't know about you guys. Unfortunately, I don't wake up with joy every morning. I don't go, wow, you know, what a day to be alive. And that's really unfortunate. I wish I did. And we're going to get onto how I believe this can be done in a minute. This is all just kind of stuff I've thought about today as well, so it's off the top of the head. So, he wakes up with joy every single bloody morning. What a jammy guy. I bet we all wish we could take a leaf out of his book and kinda, you know, do that. Obviously, as a disclaimer, this video isn't with the intention of saying that all of us should renounce all of our worldly goods and go and volunteer in gardens and live with nothing. That's not what I'm saying. But the point is, it made him happy. So, to make this make sense, and to draw into my theory about why he wakes up with joyfulness every morning, he says that the reason he wakes up with so much happiness and joy every morning is because he's proud of the life he lives. Now that makes sense, obviously, that makes perfect sense. He's proud of himself, he's proud of the way he conducts himself, he's proud of the life he lives, so he wakes up joyful every morning. But then most of us don't. But we might tell ourselves, you know, like we're doing well and, you know, I'm really happy about what's going on right now, but obviously not. Because we're waking up in the morning a little bit melancholy, you know? Obviously some mornings are different, especially if it's like a day when you've got something on, you know, you're excited. But the whole point is that this guy barely has anything on ever. He just works in gardens all day and every day wakes up like, yes, what a day to be alive. You know? And also to tie it back in, it's when I was saying a lot of our to tie back into the quote that I said at the beginning, a lot of our pain is internal, it's not external, and we scapegoat it by saying that we blame other things like the media and people and whatever for our suffering, but it's projection. So it's all within ourselves. The reason we wake up every morning feeling funny, or some mornings anyway. So, if you're following, if you can, sometimes I confuse myself, but let's think about this for a second. So he wakes up every morning with joy because he's proud of the life he lives. So then obviously we're not proud of the lives we live 100%. Okay? So how do we change that? Well, let me get on to another bit of a documentary, the story. Earlier on, he mentions that he lived as a businessman decades before before he was living nomadically. He lived as a businessman. He was a jeweler, and as part of his job, he took thousands of tons worth of material from the earth for his profit, and that filled him with immense guilt and shame. So at that point, when he was living with greed and those type of feelings, he was very guilty, and he felt shame for himself because of what he was doing to the earth in exchange for his business and his profit and all these material possessions. So he felt guilty, he felt shame. But then he starts to live nomadically, and then every day feels joy. So he does the exact opposite of what brings him shame. Interesting. So, the reason why we wake up in the morning, I'm not saying every day, sometimes, feeling a little bit funny, a little bit melancholy, is because we have shame. Now, shame is the most... How do I describe it? There's a diagram, right? And the diagram basically, it's like an upside down triangle. And at the bottom, it's like the most potent like negative emotions almost to be around, and then as it goes up to the top, it's like transcendency and like I'm trying to figure out like how to describe it. The diagram works on a basis that how we feel affects those around us, which is 100% true. Like if you're sad and you're around other people, you're giving off that energy. Other people might start getting sad. If you're happy in a room full of sad people and you're putting out your energy, you're going to start transforming those people into happier people in that moment. So basically, shame is right at the bottom. It's very potent in a negative way, obviously, and then obviously as it builds up, it kind of goes in the opposite direction in terms of like potency in a positive way. But yeah, they say shame's the worst. So we have shame for ourselves and the things we do. Just think about that. It's crazy, isn't it? We might think we're living lives that are like at least semi-fulfilling, but then, you know, we'll wake up feeling not joyful and whatever, not fulfilled. That's because of shame. Ladies and gents, we're ashamed in something. Multiple things, potentially. Now, why do I think this is? No, I don't know. For me personally, I'll come out, be candid right now, and say I feel shame because I don't always eat how I want to eat. Obviously, I know a lot about nutrition and stuff like that, and I don't always eat the way I want to be eating, and the way that actually makes me feel good. Sometimes I sabotage myself and eat a way that makes me feel bad. I don't always do as much work as I'd like to do to like move the needle. My goal is to move to Thailand, and currently, obviously, this podcast isn't making any money and won't be for a while. So I'm in a sales role right now, and sometimes it's a contractor sales role. So I'm an independent contractor, so I pick my own hours and I can do as much work as I want. And sometimes I feel that I'm not doing as much work as I want to be doing, and that hello dog. And that annoys me sometimes because I don't know. It's a thing of self-sabotage. You know, I'll be sat there like 4 hours in and I'll just be like, you know what, I'm done for today. But why? That brings me shame. So there's a few things in my life that bring me shame. It's fucking crazy, isn't it? And today, now that I've realised this, I know that things have to change, because I woke up in a stinking mood this morning. Can't lie. Not proud, like, at all, of what I've got going on or stuff like that. Coffee's finished now, ladies and gents. So we've got to change that up and sit here for yourself right now and kind of pinpoint all the things that make you feel shame, because I guarantee there's plenty of them. Because these days we've got the curse of so much knowledge, so much information. Guarantee there's quite a few things you feel shame about. Just think about them and then flip them on their head, you know? To caveat, as I usually do, some people feel shame about stupid things. And it's not up to me to deem what's stupid, but I suppose you can. But if it's something about, like, I don't know, some people feel ashamed about things that are just part of themselves, like their appearance or their, I don't know, their sexuality or whatever. Some people feel ashamed about stuff like that. And for those people, it's like, right, let's not flip that on our head. Like, if you're gay, don't try to be straight to not feel shame, you know. But I'm more talking about habits. I'm more talking about habits that bring you shame, not like insecurities or things that are out of your control. Because for those are things that you need to come to peace with. But that's a topic for another day, isn't it? Realistically, like we're not talking about that right now. But I just want to quickly caveat, because don't want to be spreading any potentially damaging information. Yeah, let's think. Do a quick minute or so, just pondering what are the things I do which bring me shame, the activities. And let's think of what the opposite of those things are. So let's think about this. For me personally, I'll give you an example. So I've said I don't like the way I eat sometimes. Okay, well, I'm going to start eating good. I'm not happy with the amount of work that I do sometimes, because I don't feel like it moves the needle towards what I actually want to be doing. Okay, well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do more work. You know? This makes sense, ladies and gents. Now for you, it could be completely different things. It could be things like, I don't know, I'm ashamed that I don't spend enough time with friends or family. I'm ashamed I don't work out enough. All really easy fixes, funny enough. Really, really easy fixes. I suppose the problem is that they're easy fixes, but we sabotage ourselves so much, don't we? We really do sabotage ourselves. No, I'm trying to think of something constructive to say which is going to stop you from doing that. But it's hard to come up with something like profound, because realistically, just do it. If it's going to make you feel good, just do it. You know, we're in a generation of people who sabotage themselves, aren't we? It's very annoying. But just don't. Just do the things that you think are going to make you less ashamed and happy and make you wake up a bit more joyful and chilling, killing, you know? Just do them. Stop scrolling your phone, you knob. That's what it's all about. Yeah. I like listening to the birds. I suppose that's another thing that would bring me shame, is not getting out into nature enough. I'm here now, listening to birds. I'm happy. I'm a happy chap. Something that would bring me shame in the past would be being afraid to record in public. I'm in public recording, there's people around. That's cool with me. Granted, to begin with, you know, you're setting up your camera, it feels a bit uncomfortable. It's a bit like, ooh, fucking hell. But no one cares, you know? You know what I'm saying? No one cares. I don't want to end it yet. I'm enjoying myself. Trying to think of any more like talking points, anything more like constructive. But yeah, just to summarise, we'll go back. We'll do a little blurb, little summary of what I've spoken about, and if you've made notes or mental notes or whatever, implement them. So we started off by saying we poison our own minds, and it makes us feel sick. So that is internal poison, not external. Need to make that clear. And then the documentary of a guy who has no possessions, and every morning he wakes up full of joy because he's doing the exact opposite of what he did in his past life. The things he did in his past life brought him shame. So we've tied it all around to say, if you stop doing the things that bring you shame, the habits or activities that bring you shame, and you do the opposite, in theory, now I'm not saying this is 100%, but this is just the correlation I've made. In theory, we should start waking up feeling happier and proud of ourselves. Now obviously, this is a gradual process. Like I'd love to meet the person who could just overnight like 180 and start doing the opposite of all the things that bring them shame, because some people, like I was about to say a lot of people, but I don't know, some people are going to have a lot of things that they feel bad about that they do, so, and for those people, let's not expect to just like turn this on its head overnight. It's going to be a process and a half, it really will be. That's a bird of prey right there, I think. Is it? I think it is. Is it? Oh God, what do you call them? So I'm getting distracted by the birds. Anyway, but yeah, for the people who have a lot of those things, a lot of those mental baggages, it's going to take a few months to really iron these things out. Because first of all, if you've got a lot of them, you have to establish what they are, which is actually going to take a while, and it's going to take a lot of soul searching. And then you've got to start rewiring your brain to not do them and to do the opposite. That's hard, man. Like, I started probably this whole journey a year, maybe even 2 years ago, right? And up to now, I'd say I'm about halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way done in terms of rerouting, the bad habits and replacing them with good ones. And obviously, it could be quicker for you because you have this, like, I'm sat here telling you, like, the knowledge, Whereas for me, it's like, it's genuinely just been something I've had to, like, figure out to do on my own and make sense of. That's what I mean. We're all getting there. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. And for people with less things that we feel shame about, it's not going to take as long. But, there's still an end goal. The end goal is to wake up every morning like that man, feeling joyful and bloody fulfilled. Not with our possessions, not with our surroundings, but with ourselves. Because we can't look to material for happiness and joy. We can't. We have to. That has to come from ourselves. It has to. That's a non-negotiable. Right? That is so fucking true. It's the only place we get it from. That's why people chase material and stuff like that. They think, oh, this is gonna, once I get this, it's gonna make me happy. Nope. It has to come from yourself. For me, if I was doing all the habits that genuinely made me happy, I wouldn't really care where I was or what I had. Just like this guy that I mentioned in the documentary. as long as you know within yourself that you're doing things that fulfill you, and fulfill who you are, and make you proud, then, mate, you've literally solved it. Like, you're gonna wake up happy and joyful every fucking morning. You know? It's cool stuff. It's really cool stuff. Something to think about. For sure. I'll quickly touch on oh, my camera's turned off, for fuck's sake, man. I'll quickly touch on it. I don't know when that stopped recording. That could have stopped recording like ages ago. That's really pissed me off. Well, this is just gonna be audio now. Brilliant. Fuck it. Oh god. You'll just be looking at a picture of my face right now while listening to this, probably. God, this camera's is a mare. It gets annoying sometimes. It really does. I wanted to quickly touch on how people. I saw another thing, and it was I forget who was talking about it. He was basically saying people think their purpose lies in certain activities, and you know, like, my purpose is to be a podcaster, my purpose is to be a personal trainer, whatever. People think their purpose is tied into that. It's not. It's tied into just being a person. Like, your purpose is to be a person on this earth, and to be able to pursue things that you enjoy and bring positivity. If that makes sense, you know, people get all too consumed in their pursuits, and not actually just the fact that you're alive. You know, it's just about living, and the fact that you are alive and you get to do things you enjoy. That's so sick, so cool. But those things aren't your purpose. Your purpose is just being here right now, chilling, killing. Since my camera's off, and we're getting up to like half an hour, I'm gonna sack it off now. We're gonna call it quits. As I always say, hope this has made sense, and hope you've learned something. Like, you know, anything. Leave a comment, feedback, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Pretty please. And yeah, I'll see you Thursday for some more stuff, some more bits and boobs. Much love. Hope you have a great day, great life, great whatever. And let's start waking up feeling happy, folks. Let's go.